This is Brent of the Brookbush Institute, and in this video we're going over the staple of lower body power training, the box jump. I'm going to have my friend Jeremy come out. He's going to help me demonstrate this exercise. Now we're going to go over some guidelines for how we cue this exercise, and that's going to come down to form, eccentric load rather, amortization phase, being quick, and then landing soft. So just to get started, when we talk about form, Jeremy's going to set up like he's doing a good squat. Now you guys know what a squat should look like, feet parallel, right? We're going to keep those feet underneath our hips. Everything should be aligned. If you're doing power training with somebody, this is not the time to all of a sudden have to correct all of those like knees bow in or an excessive forward lean. Hopefully you guys have corrected some of that on the way to progressing somebody here. Now, when it comes to power training, we have to start talking about eccentric loading, which, how do we eccentrically load a box jump? Well, the eccentric is on the way down, so I want Jeremy to concentrate on bringing his arms down as he goes down. This is a very simple mistake I see in the gym a lot, so let's practice that a couple times. I want you to start with your hands up here, and then your arms are going to go down as you go down and up as you go up. Right? Just that little bit of biomechanics. Let's do that like 2 or 3 times. Down, so that's the eccentric load, right? He's loading all of his tissues on the way down, right? Loading that arm swing, loading his glute max, quads, and calves, right? That's gonna help increase all of the elastic potential in those tissues so we can use it to get a better vertical out of him today. Now, the next thing I want him to think about is a short amortization phase, and that's just a technical term for the turnaround between eccentric and concentric. So the bottom J, I want you to spend as little time there as possible. All right, so I want you to think about, let's do the same thing. We're not going to jump yet. You're just going to bounce at the bottom. Down, there you go. So got that nice arm swing. Notice his arms match the rest of his movement. He's bouncing at the bottom, right? The next thing we have to add, and this is where we can start practicing actually jumping onto the box, because it's hard not to jump on the box at this point, is power is all about speed. So I've personally gotten out of the habit of saying things like harder, higher. I find that cueing faster usually is what gets me what I want. So if I can take him through what we just went through, we went through form. He knows to spend as little time at the bottom as possible. He knows where his arm swing mechanics should be for that eccentric loading. Then all I have to do now is go, okay, start here. And jump on the box as fast as you can. Boom. And it looks nice and easy when he does it. Now, Jeremy's obviously very practiced, right? Semi-professional basketball player. Very powerful athlete. But you can kind of see how all of this stuff starts adding up. Now the last thing we need to add, which comes into kind of our control thing, and you guys have heard me talk about this on other videos, is he needs to land softly, right? So I want you to start with your hands up here, right? We got that eccentric load. He's gonna bounce at the bottom. He's gonna explode as fast as he can. And then I want him to go heel to toe like a ninja, all right?
Got it.
Let's see it. Nice. All right. And I'm going to have him hold at the top just for a little bit longer. I want you to be really, really stable before you come down. Like you could hold it forever. All right? So stick the landing. Nice hold. That was a little louder, but at least now he's nice and stable. I know he's got the control, guys. Remember, power without control is nothing. It doesn't help in sports to be powerful but not controlled. That doesn't make any sense. Let's do a couple more of these. Now the question always comes down to, how would I progress this exercise? And there's a couple directions to go, and then one particular direction that I want you guys to stay away from, right? So we could go with a higher box. But let's keep in mind that he should be able to land at worst in a squat position, and ideally we'd keep getting him closer and closer to landing almost straight-legged and then going down into a squat. Our goal is to increase his vertical jump, not increase how much he can flex his hip in the middle of a box jump. That doesn't help his vertical at all, right? So I could increase height. I could keep working on his mechanics, right, for a little while before I even did that, make him work towards being able to almost straight leg this. We could also add different planes and start going into that stability kind of component of things, that control component of things. The thing that you want to stay away from, guys, don't add weight. Right? Like weight vests just make you slower, which then takes away from the speed component of this power training exercise. So let's show them a couple of the stability components, because obviously we're not going to increase your vertical to be more straight-legged right now. But let's go ahead and try to go from where you're at to landing on one leg.
Okay.
All right. Up. Whoa. Okay, so that's a tough one for Jay. Jay hasn't done that before. Remember, it's just like when you land in your squat.
Yeah.
So you tried to get both very, very straight-legged, right, and land on one leg. Just think about like landing in your squat form, but like you'd lift one leg. If you need to, land in your squat form and then lift one leg so you know what it feels like. So this is a good exercise for Jay. You guys can already see just by moving him a little bit into the stability factor, he doesn't have as much control as he thinks he does jumping off the ground. He's coming actually a little bit this way when you jump off the ground, which is why he can't land on one leg and stay stable.
Let me try the other leg.
All right, let's try the other leg. A little bit better, but you guys get what I'm saying. You can imagine, like, now he goes up for a layup. If he's shifting to the right every time he lays up the ball, what's that going to do to his consistency, right? What's that going to do? Are you going to rim out rather than putting it right in the net? All right, guys, so just to, you can relax for a second. So just to kind of recap what we went through, you want to go through those 5 cues again for them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we started with hands up here. Remember, we need to load our tissues. So we're gonna arms down as we go down, and then arms come up as we go up, right? And Jay has beautiful squat form here. So with squat form, he eccentrically loaded. And then I told him, hey, I want you to bounce at the bottom. So no time is spent at the bottom of this. That's the amortization phase. We want to shorten that down as much as possible so that we increase the amount of energy used for force production and lose as little as possible as heat, right? And that plastic deformation of our connective tissues. And then last, I start cueing him for speed. And then for landing mechanics, he has to go soft. And that all comes into the control component. So let's see one more. Ready? Up. So he's going to bounce, speed, land soft. That's great. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.